When you think of the scariest movie you've ever seen, what comes to mind? A modern horror film? Classic horror? Slasher flicks? Jack Frost?
What? Oh. Okay.
Science may say something different, and the answer may surprise you.
Hello there, I'm Aaliyah, and this is Coffee Beans and Horror Fiends. On this channel, we deep dive into all things horror while staying heavily caffeinated. In today's video, we are going to dissect the scariest movie ever. We are going to be getting into the science and the backstory of this film. But before I get into the science and the film and how it was declared the scariest film ever, let's talk about some coffee. So I got this coffee from my dad for Christmas, and at first I was like, this is just gross, but it's the Kahlua non-alcoholic white Russian coffee, and it's like a ground coffee. And a little backstory, because that may seem really random, my dad and I, neither of us really drink that much, if I'm being completely honest, but if we do have something prominent going on, like when we went to my cousin's wedding for my 21st birthday, we had White Russians, and we're both like super lightweights. So it's really funny, and it's just sort of our thing. He's so cute. I don't even know how he found this. I was like, Dad, love it. I'm pretty sure he got this for me as a gag gift, and I thought of it as a gag gift. I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm gonna love this coffee. I was like, I'm just gonna try it, and if it's good, then that's great. If it's not, then whatever. No big deal. It's cute. It's a very creamy sort of flavor, as you can imagine if you're familiar with the White Russian drink. It's a very creamy alcoholic drink, and you don't need a lot of cream. Like myself personally, I like really strong coffee with a lot of cream. That's just how I am, and I barely needed any. I just used it with my Coffee Mate Sweet Italian Cream. That's like delicious. I highly recommend it. I get the jumbo size, and I go through it like crazy. I actually have no clue where my dad got this coffee. I'm gonna have to ask him. I'm gonna see him later. I'll ask him, and I'm gonna link it down below. I'll try and scour the internet. If it was someplace like really random, I'll find it if you're interested in it. And as you can see, I'm drinking it out of my cute Harry Potter mug. It looks like I'm not drinking anything. Like what? Now you can see it. Oh, that could end really badly. Let's not do that. I need a refill. That's like some ASMR. Now that I've tortured you with ASMR, let me get into the actual horror.
Broadband Choices, a comparison tool for broadband deals, performed something called the Science of Scare Project. They tracked the heart rate of 50 people of a variety of ages who watched over 100 hours of scary movies.
Now, obviously, they didn't show a massive amount of movies, so your fave may have not have even been considered.
After analyzing the data, Broadband Choices narrowed down their list of what they believe scientifically to be the 35 scariest movies ever. The movies were chosen from the 50 highest rated horror films according to Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and Reddit. In the study, each member of the test audience had a heart rate monitor to see how much their heart rate rose above average. All of this data was averaged for each film, and one movie soared above the rest. Coming in at number 5 was Paranormal Activity. Number 4 was Hereditary. Second runner-up was The Conjuring. Runner-up was Insidious. And the scariest movie ever? Sinister. Sinister was released in 2012 and was directed by Scott Derrickson, starring Ethan Hawke from horror powerhouse Blumhouse Productions. Sinister follows a controversial true crime writer, Ellison Oswalt, as his obsession with reviving his career leads to an investigation into a series of family murders and child kidnapping. After unearthing grisly films that seemingly showed the murders, including one that took place in his own home. It's packed with a crazy score, twists, jumps, creepy kids, and bad decisions, which kept test subjects' hearts pounding throughout the whole movie. The resting heart rate for the film was 65 BPM. The average BPM while watching Sinister was 86. That's a 32% difference. The highest spike during the film was 131 BPM.
Broadband Choices did not reveal what scene exactly that caused the spike, but I have to imagine it was that iconic final scene.
Other notable films in their study was The Babadook, coming in at number 8, The Ring at number 11, Nightmare on Elm Street, number 13, Halloween at number 14, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, number 15, Alien at number 24, Friday the 13th at number 28, and Audition at number 35, which was also dubbed the scariest foreign horror film. James Wan was dubbed the King of Horror by Broadband Choices. 3 of his films ranked in the top 10.
I don't know what I'm doing! Ah! Shit! Fuck me! Shit! What the fuck?
Sinister took in $18.2 million and only cost $3 million to make, which only, right? I know. But in comparison to other box office opening hits at that time, like Argo and Taken 2, that cost roughly $45 million to make, $3 million is chump change. This wasn't the first time that Blumhouse used this highly successful formula either.
The mega production company has had major wins with this method. Fragility has been working great for them. The idea for Sinister came to fruition when writer Cargill had a nightmare after watching The Ring.
I mean, we can all relate to those nightmares, am I right? I remember the first time I watched The Ring. I still have nightmares. He dreamt of vintage-style tapes of people hanging. After awaking from this sweet Candyland dream, he took the idea to writer-director Scott Derrickson over a few White Russians, except they were probably alcoholic, but still, yeah. Then they were in Jason Blumhouse's office like a week later.
It took 5 weeks to write the script, and it was deeply personal to Cargill. A lot of the conversations between Ellison and his wife are word for word from conversations Cargill had with his own wife. Also, the scene with Trevor and his night terrors was from Scott Derrickson, who was the co-writer and director of the film's own life experiences. Sinister was rated R on content alone, which is impressive because there is no sex, very little blood, and even less cussing. The videotapes were so jarring that you can see how much they affected the actor Ethan Hawke. The facial reactions you see in the final cut are his actual real and raw first impressions.
So aside from deeply disturbing dreams and personal experiences, I was really interested in what inspired Sinister, and more specifically, what inspired the character Bagul.
On Sinister's Facebook page, they claim Bagul is the brother of Malak and mimicked Malak's worship and child sacrifice rituals, before Malak furiously shut Bagul's mouth with ash for all eternity. But who is Malak? Malak is the Canaanite deity of child sacrifice. In the Hebrew Bible, Moses warns Jewish people about praising and worshiping Malak in Leviticus 18:21. Malak has been used figuratively in English Lit a lot to refer to a person or thing demanding or requiring child sacrifice. Everything from John Milton's Paradise Lost, released in 1667, to Allen Ginsberg's Howl, released in 1955. According to legend, Malak was represented as a huge bronze statue with the head of a bull. The statue was hollow, and inside burned a fire, which colored the statue burning red. There's a horrific and graphic ritual that legend claims would take place that I prefer not to get into, but you can Google it if you are curious. In summation, Malak is not a nice dude.
Mr. Boogie, or Bagul, was not originally imagined to look like Malak. In fact, the reference for this evil creature was none other than Johnny Depp from Willy Wonka.
Buy you some gum, ooh-wee. I'ma bring some gum with me, cause your breath stink.
Everybody is confused, just like you.
No, you are confused, not me.
I mean, what? I asked for inspiration and I got it. Without being too harsh. Obviously, the idea to model your evil creature image-wise after the candy tycoon of Willy Wonka was stupid. The idea was quickly scrapped, and Cargill found some strange, creepy picture on Google and bought the rights to use it instead. Obviously not the exact image, but to create the basis of what Bagul would look like. You know, I have to be honest with myself. I've been sitting here thinking about what Sinister would be with Willy Wonka as Bagul, and I think this was a shameful missed opportunity. I'm going back on my opinion. I say we demand a re-release with the Willy Wonka Bagul. Scholars and regular schmegula folks like myself have hotly debated what the scariest movie of all time is and what makes a scary movie scary. Obviously, this isn't an argument that's going to be going away anytime soon, and I kind of love that. Quite obviously, no one can outright say what movie is scarier than another. It's all subjective. So whether you believe that Sinister was the scariest movie of all time or not, you can't deny that the combination of personal experience, the injection of the Legend of Malak, a bone-chilling, glitchy electronic score, and creepy children definitely makes Sinister a strong contender. Personally, I'm really interested in hearing what you think the scariest movie ever made is, so please leave that in the comments below. Be sure to like this video, share, subscribe if you enjoyed it and you want to hear more about coffee and horror. And it's not just going to be horror movies that I talk about, it's going to be objects, places, people, all sorts of horrifying things. We're not just boxed into movies here. Thank you again for watching. Stay caffeinated and stay spooky. Honestly, I don't understand how people don't think Jack Frost is the scariest movie ever made. Are we existing in the same dimension? Decapitated. King Henry style. Was it King Henry? So iconic.
I only asked you for a smoke.